God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 38 of Your Journey is Not Over. My name is Tanya Pearson Randolph. This is my own personal journey. This is my healing journey. And the expressions and opinions are of my own. I own all the rights to my personal journey, to my healing journey, and to Your Journey is Not Over. Neither of the three are to be used, copied, nor edited in any way without my consent. Well, as I said in my last episode, being in lockdown, complete lockdown, it's a very isolating, very lonely existence. As in my case, my now late husband worked 12 to 14-hour days, 7 days a week, which was his normal schedule, even before my lockdown. Before my lockdown, we both worked a lot of hours, so truly, his schedule was just normal to us. I will share this. About a week prior to my late husband passing away, he told me, "I want to apologize to you, Tanya." I asked him for what. There were a lot of these conversations in his latter days. When you know your time with someone is slowly coming to an end, you clear the air with each other. You apologize for shortcomings. This conversation was one where we apologized to each other. He said, "I never realized that 90% of our entire relationship, you were alone." He said, "I gave you very little time, and for that, I truly am sorry." As I told him being devoted to his job, the long days, the long hours, was just who he was, what he did, even when we first got together. So again, it was just normal to us. We always looked for the future. We worked hard and looked forward to our retirement years together. He always told me, "One day I will make it up to you. We will have all the time in the world together." But those days were not to be. God had other plans for our lives. During this conversation is where I got to apologize to him for wasting a year and 9 months of our time together. I felt like my anxiety, my depression, my panic attacks had robbed us of so many good times, so many memories that we could have made together. Being in lockdown is lonely, and it robs not only ourselves, but the ones that we love of living a normal, happy life. It alters everything. You are no longer who you were before, whom you had always been. Oh no, you become a version of yourself that even you don't know, you don't recognize. So can you imagine how hard it is for our loved ones to even concept, let alone recognize this whole new version of us? Our lives change, and with that change, it changes everyone's lives around us. Again, reflecting back, and yes, I was accepting. Well, this is it, Tanya. This is what life is going to be like for me. And being used to my now late husband's schedule, looking back, I don't think I ever thought about being lonely. I did think about the old version of myself, the person I was before this, a lot. I wanted to be that person again. I wanted my life back. And everyone that I've had contact with that has experienced lockdown or is now experiencing lockdown has shared with me that they also have thought of that many times a day. You know you're not crazy. You've not lost your mind. You're functioning normal within your city, within your home, but you just can't make yourself step outside your door, as in my case. Truly, it's a crippling feeling. It cripples and it paralyzes your mind, not your body. And also, I will share with you, everyone that I've had contact with that has experienced or is experiencing this, well, we all had a lot of trauma starting at an early age. And then, along with those traumas, most during what we call the most primitive years of our lives. Again, very young. Well, then life threw us a lot of curveballs, a lot of setbacks, a lot of heartaches, a lot of disappointments, and a lot of betrayals. There were wrong turns, the back roads that we traveled without ever knowing how we even got there. It wasn't planned nor how we seen our lives going, that's for sure. I truly believe our minds handled everything up until that point. It was layer after layer over a period of years. And finally, all those layers, well, the weight of layer after layer, it weighed our minds down. It pushed us to that point. That filing cabinet that I speak of, our subconscious, couldn't hold anymore. It busted wide open, and with no knowledge of the how did this happen and who am I now? I had always, by the grace of God, managed to get through what I thought, get over whatever, and store, compartmentalize, and move past whatever was thrown my way. I learned to adapt, to adjust, and move on like nothing ever happened until I couldn't. As in everything, our minds have a point where they are filled to capacity. It was years upon years of everything being stored, being compartmentalized, and separating ourselves from the traumas, from the hurts, from the pain. And we are human. We aren't fictional characters. God never intended us to be. Look and read the Bible. Those are real life human beings that endured, that suffered many different things on their journeys, each with their own struggles, their own setbacks, their own disappointments, their own pain, each with their own human experiences, as in ourselves. They are the true trailblazers that taught us yes, you will suffer, you will endure, and you will struggle. You will be hurt and you will be betrayed. And it is truly okay not to be okay sometimes, but always believe in God. And where you are is not your final destination. God still has plans for you, a purpose for you, and for your life. All we have to do is trust God. He will lead us. And as my grandma always said, God will lead us to it, through it, and beyond it. Yes, next week I do want to begin to share how I slowly got the courage to begin to take small steps as to getting back my life, getting back out into the world. I knew I wanted more out of life. I knew this wasn't the life I wanted to live for the rest of my life. It took a lot of small steps, baby steps, I call them, because that's essentially what it is. You're having to get the courage, the confidence within yourself all over again. You're learning to walk back into life all over again. The switch flips in your mind. You want more than just this lonely, isolating existence. You want your life, your normal life back. You stop accepting. Well, this is it. This is how it ends for me. No, this is not it. This is not how it ends for you. If you're suffering, as millions of people around the world are, please know you can overcome this. You will overcome this, as you have so many things in your life. God did not bring us to it, through it, and beyond all the things that we've endured, that we've overcome and survived, for it to all come to this. Our minds are our greatest gift that God gave us, so we must learn to rewire our minds. Stop accepting this. God never gives up on us, so therefore, we can't give up on ourselves. We have to do our part, and that means defying the devil and stop accepting. Yes, life, all that life has brought us, and it's brought us to this destination. But this will not be your final destination. And if I can do it, get through it, overcome it, then so can you. All things are possible with God. As I woke up at 2:30 this morning to begin to write this episode before my workday even begins, my very first thought when I opened my eyes was, that's what the lockdown was supposed to be for me to begin to reflect, to understand, to heal, and to release all that I'd experienced, all that I'd endured. But I had no clue, no knowledge of reflecting, of understanding, of healing traumas, let alone knowledge of releasing to allow me to begin to step into a better, happier, healthier, more confident, balanced version of myself. This morning, I truly felt like I'd missed the mark completely. I apologize to God for not knowing the purpose for that time that I now feel like I completely wasted. Time is precious, so yes, I do feel like I wasted so much precious time that I can never get back. But then I was reminded nothing is ever a waste, nothing's a loss. Because, like so many things in my life along my journey, I now have the experience, the personal experience, no stone left unturned on my journey to now speak on, to relate to, and to help others. The best part about all of our journeys, and as overcomers, as survivors, is that we can help those that are where we once were. Also, I'm told my sense of humor truly does not come out on my podcast. Of course not. I cover and talk about and discuss serious, relatable topics, but I have a huge sense of humor. I'm very ornery, I'm sarcastic, and hey, I remind God every day, He built me, He made me this way. And something tells me God has a huge sense of humor too. I got it from somewhere. I do want to share. Just a couple days ago, I stopped to get gas and I was wearing a skirt. It's a skirt with shorts built in. I live in them in the summertime. They're comfortable and they're versatile. I can go to work, go to meetings. It's an attire that works for all occasions. And yes, I had my hair down and in a headband. My hair is extremely long, so the perception is, and I do get it a lot, is that I must be very religious because of my looks. Again, people judging a book by the cover, right? I'm extremely spiritual, not religious, so the perception is completely wrong. Aren't most perceptions, though? I mean, most people meet me and truly believe because of my sense of humor, my lightheartedness. I'm very charismatic, and with my kindness and my softness, most perceive that I'm like the scarecrow on The Wizard of Oz, and I have no brain. Again, wrong. I'm sure it's shocking when those discover that I actually do. I'm very intellectual. Well, again, I stopped to get gas and was inside paying, and the guy behind me, first, let me just say that it shocks me sometimes the things that people say with absolutely no filter to complete strangers, too. Well, the guy behind me said, "You must be one of those Bible thumpers." Okay, I couldn't help but laugh. An inquiring mind's got to know, so I couldn't help myself. I just had to ask, "What makes you think that?" He said, "Well, the hair, the skirt, it's kind of a given." I'm still laughing, and I said, "Really?" I said, "What would you say if I told you I don't thump the Bible, I actually read all versions?" Everyone in the gas station started laughing. Even the guy. He told me that's a good comeback. I am quick on my feet. And the man, that complete stranger, he brought humor into my life that day. Now that's how you can take what most perceive as an insulting comment and flip it and make it positive, make light of it. I do not own the rights to the things I chose to share today. Sometimes wash up looks like singing with hands in the air, but sometimes the most beautiful wash up is a heart that's been broken, a soul that's been crushed, and yet still chooses to trust, to obey, and to follow the Lord anyway. I died 100 times to become this version of me, so yeah, I protect her. Becoming her wasn't free. Peace comes when you realize that everything that's out of our control should be out of your mind. Change the way I think. The roads you never planned to walk down often reveal the strength you never knew you had. Please keep walking. Well, this concludes my podcast for today. Please join me next Tuesday. Listen in, and always remember, your journey is not over. God bless.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been